Yo, what's going on, guys? It's the Gaming Out, and today I just wanted to make y'all a super quick settings video. I had a few people asking me what my settings were, but it would take a long time to like type it all out. So I decided, since I had enough people asking, that I might as well just make a video. So, before we even get started, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Kick, do all that good stuff. And yeah, let's get into the settings now. Okay, for my game, okay, let's start all the way from the top and like work our way down. So, starting with keyboard and mouse, I don't really play on keyboard and mouse that much, but when I do, I play on this sensitivity. I do play on keyboard and mouse a little bit, but not much. But you can go ahead and look at these settings and copy them if you want to. But my mouse settings aren't going to be as good as my controller settings, of course. But these are my keybinds. Are these still right? Yeah, these are the keybinds that I use. I changed a little bit of them, but yeah, these are my keybinds. And then gameplay. I don't think I mess with this stuff really, but now for the controller settings, this is where we're going to spend most of our time. Okay, so for the controller settings, of course I play on controller. Now here's button layout preset. This is what's going to change. I would recommend, I have a controller with paddles on the back. If you have controllers with paddles on the back as well, I would recommend playing default. But if you don't, I would recommend playing tactical I would recommend playing tactical, and I would recommend playing tactical and flipped. Meaning you're hitting R3 or whatever it is on Xbox. These settings also apply to Xbox or whatever type of controller you're using. I mean, if you're playing claw, then I would recommend playing tactical sprint, because what it's doing is you're clicking your right stick to dive and slide and stuff like that. And when you play claw, like the hand position, it's a lot easier to hit like the bumpers. And plus, like, if you don't have like instant triggers, then hitting the bumpers will be more like responsive for you. This might seem weird at first, but that's what I would really recommend if you're playing with a controller with non-back buttons. But anyways, of course, vibration off. I wouldn't recommend having any types of triggers on or like adaptive triggers. I would recommend keeping all of that off. Dead zone, for the dead zone, just put this. Okay, here's what the dead zone is. If you don't know what dead zone is, it's basically how much you move your analog stick before the game detects input. If you're having stick drift, turn this up. But if you're good, turn this down as much as you can before getting stick drift. Like, if you're getting stick drift, then turn it up. Like, this is basically gonna make your game more responsive. Like, if you can move your analog stick like a lot before your game actually puts in like input, then you want to turn this lower. But like I said, if you're getting a lot of stick drift, then you want to put this up higher for the minimum. And then I wouldn't recommend messing with the trigger, the right trigger, and all that. Like I said, if you're playing on I play on instant triggers, but if you don't, I would recommend using bumpers to shoot. So yeah, that's all for my normal controller settings. And I play on 12/12 sensitivity. For you, sensitivity, okay. Here's how I would set my sensitivity. I would set my sensitivity to correspond with my aim. I would start off with like super low, like 3, like 3. And then, I should definitely have perfect aim on 3. And once if my aim gets a little bit better, I'll put it up to 4. And then I'll just put my sensitivity as high as my aim can keep up. My aim could personally keep up at 12, so I play on 12. But once I perfect my aim on 12, I'll move up to 13 and like try practicing 13 and so on and so forth. I don't mess with my ADS sensitivity. You can if you want to, but I personally don't. I don't mess with my multipliers or anything. These are literally the only thing that I do dealing with my sensitivity. Tactical stance sensitivity, I don't really use tactical stance that much, so that doesn't really matter to me either. Aim response curve type, dynamic. I run dynamic. I see a lot of players running on dynamic, so I'm not sure what it does. I would recommend, if you're really serious about the setting, go ahead and do your research on it. But I see a lot of players using dynamic, so I personally use dynamic. Now, ADS sensitivity multiplier for focus. I don't use that. Instant. Turn off custom sensitivity, presume. Okay, you want aim assist on. Aim assist type on default. Because they nerfed Black Ops, and I've seen a lot of people playing on default now. And what I would do to practice my aim, I know this is just a settings video, but what I do when I want to practice my aim is I go in a private match. I turn aim assist off. Just turn off your target aim assist, and then just try to kill people. Your aim is going to be a lot more difficult, because you're not using aim assist. But like after that match, play like a match with bots, and like after that match, go in another match, but have your aim assist on. It's crazy, like how better it'll make you with aim assist, like if you practice with it off. But anyways, I play default, like I said, precision. This stuff doesn't really matter that much. But gameplay is where we're going to be spending a lot of time here. I play on automatic tactical sprint, so like the second you hit forward, I'm automatically in my tac sprint, and I don't have to like click on the left stick. And if you're clicking on your left stick, then you're wearing out your thumbsticks, and you're more likely to have stick drift and stuff like that. So I wouldn't even try it. But slide, maintain, sprint. I don't really care about that. I just sprint. I just do like sprint, jump, and then start moving. Auto move forward, off. Tactical sprint behavior. I don't think this matters because we play on automatic tactical sprint. But grounded mantle, I have that on. Automatic airborne mantle, I have that on partial. So I don't mantle unless I want to. Cause like I've been having a lot of issues with the game. Like I would mantle, and like I don't want to mantle, and then the game was just like mantle anyways. So I don't want that. Automatic ground mantle, I just had that off. Slide dive behavior, I have it on slide only because in my opinion the dive mechanic is almost useless in this game. And don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure if you have your dive off, like if you have it on slide only, your slide is more responsive because your game, like when you hit circle or you hit paddle or whatever you use, if you're using, tap the slide or, like hold the slide, you're like when you hit circle, your game is like deciding if it's a tap or if it's a hold, and it'll take like longer for the game to recognize your input. That's why I just run slide only. If you run like if you hold slide or tap slide, if you tap circle or hold circle, it doesn't matter because the game is like, okay, he's trying to slide because he only has the slide option on. It also helps with slide canceling and stuff like that. So yeah, I would recommend slide only. Now plunging underwater, trigger. Parachute auto deploy is off because I like having like free control over my parachute, and I don't like when I go to the ground and my parachute just automatically deploys. Sprinting door bash, I have that on because I could just run through the door. I don't have to act like a bot and just sit there and click square to open the door. Ledge climb behavior, movement base, aim down sight, of course hold. I've never seen anybody use toggle, and please don't use toggle. And I have this equipment hold. Weapon mount is ADS melee, blah blah blah. You can just copy all this stuff. I prioritize interact. I have it stored tap to interact and reload. But if both are available, then it's hold to reload and tap to interact. Because I like being able to just run around in Warzone, just spam square and like to pick up stuff. Armor plate behavior, apply all. ADS stick swap off. Directional buttons for the backpack control. That doesn't really matter. Depleted ammo switch, I just have that on. Group, press. The vehicle stuff doesn't really matter, but if you want to see this, then you can copy these if you want to. But anyways, now to the graphics. For the graphics, this only matters if you're on PC. Some of these are also on controller, but like not a lot of them. I would recommend running full screen exclusive if you're on PC because you get the most performance. I just run borderless for right now because I'm recording, so I can like quickly like switch back to my OBS and stuff like that. But definitely use full screen exclusive. Like, don't use what I'm using now. And I've been asked about my specs. So, I have the 3060 Ti and 12600K. I have 170 hertz, 1440p. Automatic aspect ratio. It recommends using 2.2 for the display gamma if you're using a monitor. Blah blah blah. I use reflex low latency on on plus boost, stuff like that. I play on unlimited frame rate, but if you're just sitting like in the menu like all day and you're just like sitting in the menu, then I would definitely recommend limiting your frame rate. And of course you don't need much frame rate like in the menu, so you can cap your FPS to like 30 in the menu. But I would definitely recommend turning high dynamic range off. But yeah, now we're getting into the real settings. Okay, it looks like they reset my settings a little bit, but it's fine. We'll just kind of edit it while we go through. But graphics preset, you want custom, so you can like customize your own settings. I keep my game on 100% render resolution. Upscaling, FX Cast is the best. In my personal opinion, FX Cast is the best. It looks great. You don't lose too much performance, and it helps a lot with visibility. And no matter what settings I'm using, my game always looks amazing with FX Cast. But I personally use NVIDIA DLSS, bro, what? I use DLSS when I'm streaming and recording, because what DLSS does is it uses AI to lower your resolution, and then it uses AI to like scale it up to your actual resolution. So it kind of looks like, it's your actual resolution, but it's upscale. So it's not going to look as good, but you're going to be getting a little bit more performance. And that's what I use, because I stream and record at the same time off of the same computer, and also game off of the same computer. So sometimes I try to get a little bit more frames if I can. But this VRAM scale target, this honestly depends on what kind of system you use or what graphics card you use. But if you have anything higher than like, if you have like a 12 gigabyte or something like that, then yeah, it depends on what else you're using. But if you're not using that many things, like if you don't have like OBS open and a ton of other things like hardware acceleration on a browser and like stuff like that, then yeah, you could have this at 90, or just play with it and see what you like. But for my texture resolution, I have it on low, filter and traffic low, off, low, very low, bullet impact on, low, off. You definitely want to have this off. But stuff like that gives me higher frame rate, but doesn't really make my game look horrible. But local texture, I have that low. Shadows very low, because I don't really care about shadows that much. Off, 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 low, off, low, off, off, off. Just competitive settings. But for view, I play 120 FOV, EDS field view. It's affected, wide, 90 third person field of view, vehicle field of view, default, motion blur off, film grain off. And then you want this at 50%. I'm pretty sure, yeah, default's at 100%, but you don't really want to get camera shake while playing a competitive shooter game. So I would definitely recommend having that at 50%. Third person ADS, it's at the third person ADS instead of first person ADS. Because like, if you're playing in third person, like, why would you want your aim to be in first person? Like, you just want the fully like immersion of you being in third person. But helmet camera, inverted flashbang is on, because I don't want to go blind by the time I turn 20. And I use headphones bass boost, because apparently that helps out with your footsteps. And for this, just pick whichever headset you use. I personally use the SteelSeries Arctis One. Like, I use it wireless. But yeah, stuff like that. And these are my volume settings. I have my master volume at 80. Sometimes I have it around like 100. But I have my music at 20, dialogue at 20, effects at 100, because those are going to be your gunshots, your footprints, and stuff like that. I mean, your footsteps. So you want them to be kind of loud. But, I have my voice volume at 26. So I hear my gunshots and stuff over my teammates. Cinematic music, that doesn't really matter because you're not getting a cinematic in game anyways. I just turn my war tracks volume to 0 because something can potentially play that gets me copyrighted, and I'm just not gonna go through that. Stuff like that doesn't really matter, but you can just go ahead and copy these if you want to. But next interface, default only in campaign. That's how I like it. Color customization. I don't really mess with any of these, but you can change like if you want your player to be a certain color, or I've seen some people like have their player like in team like magenta, and then they'll have their enemy team like green or something, like colors that are like completely different from each other, which is good. And then just set your colors to whatever you want to, but make sure you and your team is a completely different color than your enemy. I think that is very important because you don't want like your enemy to be the same color as your teammate. So like you see your teammate and then you're like, oh, that's the enemy, and like you start shooting him or something. But like you just want to have good visibility on who's your teammate, who's not, where your enemies are, like being able to differentiate you and your enemies. I think that's very important in Warzone. Anyways, for color filter settings, I have my filter on filter 2, color filter target on both. This is what a lot of people use, and it really helps out with with the game looking good. And world color intensity, I'm not sure what you're supposed to have it on, but I have it on 75, interface 100, and then stuff like that. Minimap shape is square because you get more visibility. I think round minimap looks insanely goofy. Well, minimap rotation on, horizontal compass on, crosshair. I have the center dot on because it helps out with your visibility and like your visibility. It helps out with your centering, and exactly like when you aim in, your aim is gonna be at the center of that dot, so exactly where to aim for. And like I said, the centering, it helps out a lot. But anyways, hit marker visuals. I would think I think everybody would have that on because it actually like lets you know, and it like signifies that you got a shot. And stuff like this. Telemetry is just like your FPS counter and stuff like that. I just have those stuff on, but most of it off. And stuff like this. Make sure you have 2-factor on so nobody hacks your account. Stuff like that. And yeah, that's all the important stuff. But yeah, those are my settings for Warzone 3, MW3, zombies, all the settings crossover. So it's basically like the same thing. I just wanted to make this video quick because like I said, people have been asking me for this. But like I said, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe, and peace out, guys. I'll see y'all next time.